The UPSC Prelims syllabus is practically infinite. Every day, millions of aspirants try to pour an impossible volume of information into their heads, hoping to retain just enough to survive the morning. Look at the actual toll this takes on exam day. You see people cramming right up to the final seconds outside the gates, exhausted before they even take their seats. The irony of all this cramming is that Phase 1 is purely a screening mechanism. The marks you earn today will never factor into your final UPSC rank. Yet people treat this like a university final, trying to memorize the entire universe of knowledge. That approach guarantees burnout and poor retention. The Commission isn't trying to find the smartest person in the room right now. They are actively trying to eliminate 1 million people. To survive this stage, you have to stop managing information and start managing your resources. This table compares the structural metrics of the 2 papers you face. General Studies Paper 1 sits at 200 marks across 100 questions, worth 2 points each. Alongside it is CSAT, also 200 marks, but only 80 questions, making each worth 2.5 points. That GS1 paper is your merit ticket. You compete against everyone else to clear a moving, highly competitive cutoff target just to advance to the mains. CSAT operates on completely different logic. It is strictly a qualifying paper. Hit 33%, exactly 66 marks, and you are safe. Hanging over both papers is a brutal penalty system. For every wrong answer, you lose 1/3 of the marks assigned to that question. Your entire strategy comes down to a tightrope walk. You have to learn enough of the massive GS1 syllabus to beat the cutoff, while guaranteeing a baseline 66 marks in CSAT. And you have to do both without guessing so aggressively that the negative marking drags you under. This chart plots required study effort against score impact to calculate your return on investment. High-impact, low-effort subjects like polity have defined boundaries, efficiently building your baseline. High-impact, high-effort subjects like ancient history yield points, but demand hundreds of reading hours. If you pour all your time into those high-effort subjects trying to catch every possible fact, you end up with massive information overload. You recognize a lot of terms, but you don't actually know the precise answers. In the exam hall, that shallow retention is lethal. You'll find yourself staring at options, narrowing it down to 2, and guessing. You do this repeatedly to hit a target number of attempts, triggering that 1/3 penalty over and over. Those wrong guesses cannibalize the points you earned from the subjects you actually knew. You bleed out your own score, dropping below the cutoff and rendering hundreds of hours of study completely useless. On the other side of the day is CSAT. Aspirants frequently assume it's just basic 10th grade math and reading, pushing their preparation off until the final month. The reality of recent years is much harsher. The Commission has significantly ramped up the complexity of logical reasoning, permutations, and number systems. If that complexity catches you off guard and you score a 60 instead of the required 66, nothing else matters. Your GS1 paper is thrown out. It won't even be evaluated. The only defense is consistent practice. You have to drill previous year questions in comprehension and basic numeracy to build reflexive muscle memory. The trade-off is time. Diverting an hour or 2 every day to CSAT means you have to be absolutely ruthless and efficient with whatever time you have left for GS1. CSAT is the ultimate gatekeeper. Prioritizing general studies while leaving CSAT to chance is the fastest, most reliable way to eliminate yourself from the competition. This matrix breaks down how to allocate your Phase 1 study hours based on your specific academic background and your risk tolerance. If your background is in humanities or the arts, your primary objective is locking in those 66 CSAT marks safely. Focus on high-accuracy reading comprehension and logical reasoning, practiced in consistent daily micro-sessions. The cost of that safety is less time for massive, dynamic subjects. You will have to rely heavily on a rock-solid grasp of static subjects like history and polity to carry your GS1 merit score. If you are an engineering or STEM candidate with strong math foundations, your strategy is different. You should use early mock exams to prove you can consistently clear the CSAT threshold, effectively testing out of daily practice. You then pivot those hundreds of saved hours directly into dominating the GS1 syllabus. But be careful. Overconfidence in math can lead to bombing the reading comprehension sections, dropping you right below that passing line. Regardless of your background, the mechanics of Phase 1 are identical. You are trying to hit a moving, highly competitive target in the morning, while dragging a static, non-negotiable weight in the afternoon. Ultimately, the prelim stage is not about proving your total intellect. It is strictly an exercise in survival. First, respect the CSAT threshold. Secure your 66 marks so your day's work actually gets graded. Second, abandon the desire to learn everything. Target the syllabus with a strict focus on return on investment, building a score that clears the cutoff without relying on wild guesses. Walking through these gates to write the mains exam doesn't require a photographic memory. It requires the discipline to manage your time and put aside your ego. Do not optimize for 200 out of 200. Optimize exclusively to cross the line.